Senator, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great to talk to you. So you're in Philadelphia right now. How'd you get tickets to the big show? There's not even people. There's no audience.
Well, I'm going to go up there and talk about the difference between Trump and Harris. It's pretty easy. So I look at. So I've run for twice as governor and once as senator. I'm up again. But here's what I always tell people: make it easy. Okay. Here's the deal. If you like high inflation, Harris is your person. If you like an open border, you like drugs coming across, criminals, terrorists, Harris is your person. If you like a screwed up foreign policy, you like more money for Iran, you want Hamas to do bad things to Iran, Harris is your person. Now, if you like to have lower inflation, like to have better jobs, like to not be at war, like to have a secure border, you don't like drugs coming across, then Trump's your guy. It's simple. It's real simple. That's what you have. Just make it real simple. There's a difference. Which would you like?
Now, well, let me tell you, Kamala says it's time to turn the page, Senator. We need to turn the page from the division that was Donald Trump into a new future of America with hope and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Here's the problem. Every idea she's got is an old, failed idea. Like this idea of price controls. Well, she should go to Venezuela. They have price controls. And see, they're big. We import a lot from them. No, because they don't produce anything other than oil, right? We shouldn't be importing that after they lied about having a free and fair election. But if she likes price controls, go to some place that has them. Cuba, Venezuela, go to places like that where the government sets the price of everything. That means you don't have anything. If look at the economy of the places of people that do things like what Harris wants. Socialism has never worked. It's not a good idea. It's not a new idea. It's an old idea. So every idea she's got is an old idea. So I don't know what she says is turn the page stuff because there's nothing name something Biden's done that's worked. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, gas prices are up, food prices are up. We're losing full-time jobs. We're only adding part-time jobs. I mean, everything they've done is a disaster for you as a person. And, like I grew up in public housing, born to a single mom. You know what my mom would be going through now? She'd say, how in the hell am I going to pay for your food? I mean, there are 5 kids. I don't know how I can pay for you. I don't know how I can pay the gas to go to work. Oh, and by the way, I've got to take 2 or 3 part-time jobs because there are no full-time jobs out there. That's what they've created, this disaster economy for poor families, for middle-class families. The rich, they don't get hurt by inflation. They might not like the taxes and stuff like that, but the inflation, it kills the poor and the middle income.
CBS News had an article the other day. More Americans are having to choose between food and energy bills was the headline. But the whole article was about global warming, about how hot it is, which is why people have to use their AC more, and then how it affects black people the most, a disparate outcome. It's like, geez. Like,
I thought they were for these people.
Energy.
No.
Yeah.
So are they? What they're for is their own election. Like, here's what I'm going to think about Democrats. If you believe in socialism, right, go sell it. If you believe in the high taxes, go explain. If you believe in open border, but what they want to do when they run, or say, no, I don't believe in those things. No, don't worry. Like I've got a complete socialist as an opponent. I'm not sure. I mean, she came from Ecuador. Maybe she left because they don't like socialists either. But anyway, she's all in for socialism. She's buddies with AOC and Tlaib and Omar. But she wants to act like she's not now all of a sudden. Oh, I'm up for election. No, I'm not going to. I don't believe that stuff anymore. Don't worry about how I voted when I was in Congress. Don't worry about that stuff. I don't get these Democrats. I mean, if you believe in it, go sell it like crazy and go convince people. But they don't want to do that. They want to take our ideas and say, we're the nicer version of people that really want to build a better economy. I flew into D.C. yesterday and looked at all these buildings. How were these buildings built up here? You know how they were built? By hardworking Americans that went and built businesses and worked their butts off and paid taxes. They weren't built by some government running a business. The government doesn't produce our cars or groceries or anything like that. It's the private sector. But what government ultimately ends up doing is killing the private sector. And right now, it is so hard to get a full-time job. We're losing full-time jobs every day in this country.
I believe I'm operating under the premise for the next 12 hours that Kamala is preparing very well, and she'll have some great lines. And she's been practicing and rehearsing and dress rehearsal the whole thing. And she finally put up a policy page on her website, KamalaHarris.com/issues, and cut taxes for middle-class families, $6,000 tax cut to families with newborn children, make rent more affordable, grow small businesses, right? That $50,000 tax credit for first year, grow from 5 to 50,000. All these, she's got these policies now. So you can't say she doesn't say anything because she has the things now, and they all sound pretty good. Tax cut for middle-class families, make rent more affordable, grow small businesses. What do you say to that, Senator? Because she's going to do a pretty good 60-second bid on that.
She's the vice president of the United States. Why hasn't she done it?
Well, she only has so much power as vice president, Senator.
I don't remember. I served with her. I don't remember her when she was in the Senate even proposing these things. I mean, I don't remember her voting for a tax cut. Right? I remember her opposing the Trump tax cuts in 2017. So why would she be opposed those, but like these? I mean, and the Biden-Harris team has proposed raising your taxes like crazy right now. I mean, think about what they've done. We're running a $2 trillion deficit right now. So they've ruined this economy. We have 100. I mean, do you realize that we have 100 million people in this country working age? 100 million people not working. 100 million people. I ask, when I go give speeches, I ask people, how many of you have kids or grandkids and you've said, I don't want you to have a job? Now, nobody raises their hand. Their government has done that. 100 million people, 16 to 64 in this country, are not working. That's staggering.
How can that be? Wait, sorry. Between what ages? Between working age. That's 100 million working age?
Yeah, 16 to 64. 100 million people not working.
Wow, there's only 330 million of us.
Yeah. I think we have about 100 and total taxpayers, about 132 million, I think it's something like that, full-time taxpayers, and then some 28 million part-time taxpayers to pay for all this stuff. We don't pre-fund anything in the federal government. You realize that? So we have, let's say 80 million people on Medicare and Social Security. None of that's pre-funded. There's no pre-funding. I mean, I think it's something like 60 million people on Medicaid. None of that's pre-funded. So we have 132 million, I think it is, full-time workers paying for all these people that have all these programs. I mean, we have a program, multiple programs, for everything. I've had bills that say, and think about, I'm a poor kid, right? So things like, people think, well, you're not acting in your own best interest. I said, I think you ought to have to apply for work or have a job to live in public housing. How basic. Or Medicaid, or food stamps. You mean you can just sit home and get this stuff without even trying to get a job? No, if you're disabled, I get it. But think about it. Harris is all for just giving away everything with no accountability. No, and under the Biden administration, have you heard of anybody got fired for incompetence? Like one person, name one.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the secret, anybody's going to be held accountable with the Trump assassination attempt? How about Silicon Valley Bank failing? Do you think anybody was held accountable with the federal government for that? Nothing. Or the Afghan withdrawal, or the border being opened, or blah, blah. You go on and on. Nobody. There's no accountability in the Biden administration. And Harris hasn't suggested there'll be any accountability. None.
Yeah.
We are in deep trouble right now.
Same thing.
We got to have a big change. Trump's our only shot.
We're talking about Senator Rick Scott from Florida. Have you, as a colleague, ever met with Kamala one-on-one?
She sat next to me for 2 years on Homeland Security Committee, so I talked to her then, but I never had a one-on-one office meeting with her. I've talked to her, not since she became vice president. She doesn't talk to me. Biden doesn't talk to me, really. But
what have you learned about her?
My experience with her on the committee, on Homeland Security Committee, when she was in the Senate, was it wasn't serious. She didn't have any serious proposals. She would come in and try to make some TV news. So when Christopher Wray came to testify, I remember that she was going to speak right before me, and she did, and she screamed at him, tried to make news. So that's sort of what I remember. She would come in, so she would smile and try to make news somehow. So, but no policy. I can't think of any real policy proposals she ever had. So it's interesting that she has these ideas now, but because my experience is she sure as heck not tried any of them, in her time in the Senate. And this idea of price gouging, and then the second time I think she talked about it, she said gauging. She didn't even know what it was. She was responsible when she was Attorney General of California to, they have price gouging laws in California like every state does, to enforce them, but she doesn't even know how it works. I mean, think about this. We're going to have a choice. You have a business guy that's built businesses, all right, to run the economy, or you have a person that I'm not sure what a private sector job ever was, like a company, and she's never worked, as far as I know, at a consumer products company, or doesn't know how P&L, never took bookkeeping courses, but somehow that she is just by osmosis and just because she gets the title, she's going to know how to fix the economy. I don't think so.
Oh, she worked at McDonald's, Senator. Come on.
No, they said that's not true. Did you know that? they said it's not true now. They said that was just for some interview. So they said because no McDonald's they have no record that she ever worked at McDonald's. So they took it. They took it off her bio thing. They said, "Isn't that fun? Isn't that
fun?" Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Did they really?
Yeah, that's what I was told. She never really even worked at McDonald's.
That's great. I mean, obviously she didn't, but it's one thing to admit that she didn't, or take that off. That's great. Last question for you, Senator. Let you get back to work this fine morning. We talked a lot today about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio.
Oh, isn't that something? Have you seen that? I read the article. Isn't that scary for the people that live there? We've got a wonderful Haitian community in Florida. And I don't know what's going on up there, but it sounds pretty scary for the citizens of Springfield.